I've had a few wonderfully productive reading days here, and today I want to talk about Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan. I started on this book yesterday, read the first 40 pages, and then today I read the remaining 170 pages. It's about 215 pages in total. So it was a quick read for me, and as you might imagine, I find it very engaging. And this book was longlisted for the Women's Prize in 2024, came out in 2023, and it was also longlisted for the Orwell Prize for Political Fiction. And the fact that it was longlisted for the Orwell Prize was the reason why I found this book and I sought it out. I had never heard about it before. I don't know Megan Nolan. She's a fairly young and new writer. She has apparently written one other book before this one. But yeah, so this is a family saga, or well, it's maybe too short to be called a saga, but it's a family portrayal. It follows an Irish family, the Greens, who is sort of a working class, troubled family that deals a lot with emotional secludedness and emotional sort of reclusivity and addiction. Most of the family are alcoholics, and the family has relocated from a small town in Ireland to London following an involuntary pregnancy of the teenage daughter, Carmel, who is the main protagonist of the story. And as we start the novel, we find the family in London, and the child of the teenage daughter is now 10 years old. And they live in this social, project building type in south side of London. And there's been a death of a small child, a 3-year-old baby, and the 10-year-old daughter is somehow involved in that and is suspected of having murdered her. And so this is a social realistic novel, I would say. And as we come into the novel, we meet the family, and we also meet a journalist called Tom, who's a really repulsive character working for a tabloid in the UK. And he sort of came across this story of the dead child, and he decides to try to set up this family in a hotel and sort of get them away from everyone else while the investigation is going on. And he then hopes to be able to, through means of manipulation and other kinds of dubious behavior, try to pry out some secrets from them so he can get sort of an exclusive scoop for his repulsive tabloid newspaper. And through that setting, we then sort of experience these characters' backgrounds and the reasons for their current state of alcoholism and emotional, I wouldn't say depravity, but just their lack of ability to connect with each other and with themselves. And I thought I wanted to read. Now, maybe I should say that we have Carmel, who is the main protagonist. She has a brother, Richard, who is the most alcoholic and sad of the bunch, and then her emotionally avoidant father, and then a stepmother that fairly quickly dies of cancer, but is sort of the glue, the small glue that at least attempts to hold together this broken family. But we get a very, very emotionally engaging story of their backgrounds. And to give you an example of that writing, I wanted to read a passage out loud, if I can find it. I did mark it in the book. Yeah, so this is when we get insight through the interview from this tabloid newspaper journalist when he tried to sort of get Richard, who is the alcoholic brother of Carmel, drunk in the hotel and get him to talk about what might have happened to this child and why the 10-year-old kid might be a murderer and so on and so forth. He's trying to find out if there's any dirty secrets in the family. And Richard is sad and is telling the background story of his youth in the small town in Ireland. And there's this passage here which I think sets the tone quite well for how the book is written. This is Richard. There was darkness beneath or inside everything, and even beautiful things were irredeemable because they only acted to obscure but never to transform. The certainty rose and expanded, and something changed in him forever as he sensed the indefinite months and years ahead mirrored in hopelessness. There had been a part of him which was relieved to be admonished by Luke and told so clearly that drinking was what caused the problems. In this moment, on Counselor Strand, it became instantly and irrevocably clear that the drinking was only a sideshow. The drinking, the not drinking, would change nothing of this despair which was a part of him and always would be. It was a terrifying and liberating idea. This whole book is a candid and honest and familiar portrayal of a working class Southside London family and how their individual childhood traumas prevents them from living full and meaningful lives as adults. And it also gives an insight into how social and heritage works and how that childhood trauma impacts the way they unfortunately continue those patterns of their own childhood into the next generation. So I found this book very, very engaging, and you become quite sympathetic towards most of the characters in here. It's a family portrayal. It's, as the title says, about ordinary human failings. So the tale seems very realistic, candid, honest, brutal, but it's ultimately about very familiar things that happens to some families, probably more families than we think, and how that might impact life for them and for those people around them. So yeah, I will definitely be checking out Megan Nolan's other book and be on the lookout for what she might write in the future. I found the writing style excellent, the characterization very engaging, and the sort of the insights into the psyches of each of the character very compelling, very honest, and very vivid. So I have not heard a lot of talk about this book, despite the 2 short listings that it has. Long listings. It didn't make it to the shortlist, and perhaps that's why no one talks about it. Yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise for me. It's a terrific book, and I think you should check it out.